honored to be here to speak to you today. So thank you very much for having me. It's been a while since I've been a NSBE person, so I'm really excited to be back in the fold, back in the family, and I'm also very distinctly honored to be, I guess, informing you of our guest speaker for today as well. So let me just begin by saying thanks so much. I was a long time ago, many years ago, I was a member of NSBE when I was at Drexel University in Philadelphia. And then I transferred programs, I transferred schools, and kind of fell by the wayside of NSBE. So I'm really happy to be reconnected again. And today we're honoring innovation, innovators, future innovators. So I'm very excited to tell you about our guest speaker, who is an innovator. And but before I do that, I wanted to say it is so wonderful to be in DC thinking about innovation, because there's a lot of things that happen in DC around innovation. And when you think of Washington, DC, you really think of the government, the federal government. When people think of federal government, they think of, wanting to fall asleep because the government is boring, it's staid, it's old school, they do things one way. But when you think about it, there's a lot of your lives that have been totally affected by innovation in government. So, who's got a cell phone here? Anybody? Yeah, who's got a smartphone here? Anybody? Exactly. So today, smartphones have about 4 networks built into them. Even your basic average smartphone. It's got your cell phone there. It's got your data plan and your data network there. It's got GPS there. It's got Bluetooth. Those are 4 different very distinct networks that the government all had a hand in, interestingly enough. Surprise, innovation. So GPS, for example, how does the government work with that? Well, there's this little organization called DARPA that funded this thing called Navicon, which was, hey, let's throw some satellites up and be able to track our infantry, be able to track things around the globe. Well, lo and behold, that service is now turned on, 35 years ago to the average person. And so it's now available on your phone, just like the government was able to track troops and events going on in real time across the globe. You guys use the internet, right? Yeah. Well, we all know that was started by the government and DARPA and ARPANET back in 1991, I think it was. 12 universities and the government hooking up to be able to communicate and send data back and forth to each other. Not very exciting data back then, but obviously maybe a little bit more exciting than the cat videos or the Facebook updates that you may get nowadays. So when you think about it, the government really is involved with innovation. And those are old stories, but there's lots of new things going on as well. And I work for a company, I was introduced, that does systems engineering for the government. So we operate research centers that help the government do more with less. And when it comes to doing more with less, that means you're being an innovator. And so I may work with some not so exciting areas of government, collecting taxes or finding bad guys, Department of Justice. But there's a benefit to that to all of society that you really are benefiting from. Which leads me back to innovation. So I want to introduce you to a speaker who is a very innovative person. So this person has done a lot, and he's quite young. He's got a lot less gray hair than I have, which is not saying much, because it's. But this brother's got the best hair in the house, though. But this speaker, Kel Jackson, is really quite the innovator. He's quite the man at Auburn University, having worked as a student, and at the same time starting at least one business while also working in the facilities department at Auburn University, which is not a very easy place to go to school, I would imagine. But being from Alabama and close to home, I'm sure it's near and dear to his heart. So I'd like to introduce you to Kel Jackson. Cal, why don't you come on up and tell us about innovation, about how you'd like to see innovation done, and what we'd all can learn from you. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Derek, for that introduction. I'm really excited to be here. I really want to thank Derek and Miter for all their support of this program. I wanted to extend a special thanks to the leadership here at NSBE DC, President Ajiro Tutu, Vice President Smith. Thank you for your leadership. I also want to thank Dara and Erica for all their work bringing me here today. I'm excited to be here because we are gathered here in the nation's capital for a good cause, to celebrate academic achievement. And really, what more fitting of a cause is there than this? That we celebrate those who have risen above obstacles and risen to the challenge. Those who refuse to be defined by a negative statistic, but instead create their own positive future. How fitting of a cause for us to celebrate these students, because they are doing good things in the world. What more fitting of a place is there than here? Here, in the nation's capital, where the futures of our nation and the world are set in motion. How fitting of a place for us to recognize the positive futures these recipients have set in motion for themselves today. What more fitting of a time is there than now? Now, when chaos reigns the world over, when families have been destroyed and cities have burned, not just across the globe, but right here at home. How fitting of a time for us to recognize these students as they pursue a brighter future for themselves and their communities. I'm so inspired by you guys because of the way you embody the mission of NSBE and how you succeeded academically, and how you're poised to succeed professionally, and how many of you have already made an impact in your communities. Those who embody NSBE's mission are uniquely positioned for success. And when you say the word success, I love that word. And one of the people I think about when you talk about success is Ursula Burns. You might know her as the CEO of Xerox, but her story is uniquely inspirational to me because this is somebody who was raised in the projects in New York, single-parent household, 2 absentee fathers between 3 kids, yet she rose out of all that to become the first black CEO as a female of a Fortune 500 company ever. She commands $26 billion in revenue, 146,000 employees, and my favorite thing about her is that just like me, she started off with a bachelor's in mechanical engineering. Just like you, she started off on the right path. And that's what I'm here to tell you guys. Part of it is that you're already on the right path. I don't need to tell you the benefits of a career in STEM. I don't need to tell you that 1 out of 3 S&P 500 CEOs majored in engineering. I don't need to tell you that the 10 highest paying degree fields are all in STEM. I don't need to tell you that consistently STEM fields are projected to outgrow demand of all other jobs. You know that stuff. That's why you're here today. But what I am here to tell you is that in order for you to succeed at the next level, in order for you to truly become future innovators, you got to step your game up. You got to step it up academically, you got to step it up professionally, and you got to step it up in the community. The choice you face now, as you begin your lives, is between greatness and nothing. That is your choice. When I talk about succeeding academically, you already know many of the things you'll have to do to be successful, right? You gotta study, you gotta go to class, you can't party too much, you gotta do all that stuff. But the dirty little secret of undergrad that I'll tell you is that your grades are a necessary but not sufficient condition for you to get a job, which is why you're really there. And to get that job, you got to expand your network. Why? Because job boards don't work. I tell people that all the time. They do not work, and I've got the numbers to prove it. If you get 5 jobs in your lifetime, you can only expect to find 1 by applying to jobs on Indeed, LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever you find them. The other 80% are going to come through your network. And there are a few ways you got to expand that network. Number 1, go to career fairs. It is the easiest way to expand your network you're going to have. If you start in the fall, go in the fall. Do not miss a career fair. It is the only time in your life when the jobs are going to come looking for you. So go. The other piece of that, follow up with people. You're going to meet folks at career fairs. Don't just take somebody's business card and never call them. Make sure they hear from you 3-4 times a year, because over time you're going to be the person they remember, and when it's time to hand out opportunities, it's not the guy whose resume looks the best. We make decisions on an emotional level. It's who do I feel best about? Who do I know? Who do I think I can trust? And that's how you become that person. The last thing I'll tell you is to get internships. I'll use myself as an example here. I interned with United Technologies, so when it came time for me to graduate, it was the easiest interview I had. They said, listen, man, we know you. You're a known quantity for us. We like you. You passed our test. You want a job, you're hired. Come work for us. It was easy, right? Every single offer I had came through my network. I applied to dozens of opportunities blindly. I didn't get a call back from any one of them, but all my offers came through my network. So you got to expand your network. But the second piece of this is succeeding professionally. And what people don't talk about a lot that's very important to me is that you've got to protect your dreams. We've all got dreams, and that's great. But you can't share them with everybody. See, when people can't do something themselves, they're really good at telling you what you can't do. Just because somebody else can't do it doesn't mean you can't do it. You can't share it with everybody. Make sure you protect that. But the second piece of being successful professionally is you got to execute. You got to set goals. Dreams are good, but you got to break it down into a goal. What is a goal? A goal is something measurable and time-bound. You need to look at your situation today and know whether or not you've achieved it. You've got to have grit. You've got to hang in there when it gets tough. Ask anybody in this room who's done anything difficult, and they'll tell you success is on the other side of the darkness. Success comes after you hang on when you feel like it's impossible, when you don't know how you're going to pass that class, you don't know how you're going to land the client, you don't know how you're going to complete the project. Keep pushing. That's how you achieve success. So professional success is so important, and I really want to talk about that because it's what allows us to be effective professionals. And finally, when we put all that together, you've got to make an impact in the community. And to me, this is the capstone of life achievement, because we are nothing if we don't make an impact in our communities. We talked about academic success. We talked about professional success. That's how you become successful. But making an impact in the community, that's how you become great. And I don't just say we got to make an impact in the community because, you know, it's a nice thing to say or it's a nice thing to do, but we've got real issues in our community. If you don't believe me, just turn on the news, right? Take your pick. Ferguson, Sanford, Florida, New York, Baltimore. I could go on. And that's just what's making the news, even though it's been going on for a while. But let's talk about income disparity, right? Let's talk about the fact that black household net worth is 1/20th of what it is for our white brothers and sisters. Let's talk about the lack of financial investment in the black community. We've got some issues. And it's a familiar problem, right? We've all heard this before, and it's sad, and it's depressing, and it kind of gets you down. But just because it's difficult, just because there may be political reasons, just because there may be socioeconomic reasons, just because there may be reasons that stem from our nation's past, does that mean we just give up? Does that mean we give up on our communities? Does that mean we give up on each other? Does that mean we give up on ourselves? No! Because it's difficult. We must persist where others have walked away. Because it's difficult, we must unite where others have disbanded. Because it's difficult, we must do the hard work of finding real solutions where others have kicked the can down the road. We must do these things not because they are easy, but because they are hard. And in solving these difficult challenges little by little, we will rebuild our community. More importantly, we will restore faith in our communities. You see, we are the last line of defense when it comes to our communities, because every time there's a tragedy, there's news coverage for a while. But one day the last news crew gets in their van and they leave. One day the last article is written. One day the last blog post is read. And then what? Then it's just us. The same way it always was. Our actions have consequences. Our lack of action will have fatal consequences. We are nothing if we don't take back our communities. It's our duty. It's the calling of this generation. So today, scholars, I lay this challenge at your feet. Today, I charge you with picking up the mantle of progress and carrying it forward in this generation. Today, you no longer have the excuse of ignorance. The choice between greatness and nothing rests in your hands alone. So choose wisely. Work diligently. And though few things are certain in this world, I promise you this, that if you will commit to your communities, and if you will commit to yourselves, all of us here will commit to you. So congratulations, scholars. Thank you, NSBE. Thank you, DC. Such a privilege to be here. God bless you guys.
Michelle Jackson another round of applause. Choose wisely. It reminds me of great words that Aristotle once said, that excellence is never an accident. It is the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution. It represents the wise choice of many alternatives. And then it gives me something that just gives me goosebumps. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. So I am here to introduce our scholarship recipients and the folks that are about to introduce our scholarship awardees. And I just want to give a quick shout out to absolutely 14 of our scholarship recipients, but also the ship that represents the scholars. I would be dismissed to not be able to give a shout out to the mothers that are represented here, the fathers, the brothers and sisters that have supported and contributed in many ways for each and every one of the 14 brilliant scholars to be here today. So could we give us a round of applause?
She is our scholarship committee lead. So we'll be handing out certificates, and President and Vice President Garrison, come on up. Okay. This young man attended Grace Brethren Christian Class School and was class president. He will be attending United States Naval Academy in the fall with a major in electrical engineering. Very accomplished, National Achievement Scholarship Program recipient, National Honor Society, First Robotics President, Math Counts Team, a myriad of other accomplishments. Aaron Willis, if you could come forward.
Our next scholarship recipient is Brianna Lewis. Brianna Lewis is a senior at, well, I think she graduated, senior. She went to school with Walls High School in Washington, D.C. She wants to be a civil engineering and attend Bucknell University in the fall. She's been really active. One of the things she's been really active in is the Environmental Mentors, and she was one of the main people who started it. And in her college in her letter of recommendation, one of her teachers said that she was the heart and soul of this organization. And even when everybody else, and we know how that is in NSBE, sometimes people say they're going to do stuff and they don't do nothing. She was the one that got it done, and then she did the recycling and everything else. So we did, in addition to that, Green Team, she was in the Electric Car Club as well. So Brianna Lewis.
So this young lady attended Woodrow Wilson High School, and she was accepted to Rutgers University and will be attending in the fall in pre-med. Okay, we definitely need more of our African American doctors. She participated in the Math Science, Math and Technology program at Woodrow Wilson. and is very artistic. She was part of the District of Columbia Youth Orchestra program, and also was a crew team member, so she was also athletic, a Renaissance woman, I must say. And I forgot to mention that she's also in the Girl Scouts. I was a Girl Scout for a long time, so definitely really appreciate the fact that she's a Girl Scout. You can come on up, Jacqueline.
Some of the scholarships have a designation. Jacqueline was a Finley Scholar, as well as Gabriella, they're Finley Scholars. One of our chapter members, Shatoria Finley, actually, one of her goals, I've known her for like 2 years, so when I first met her, one of her goals was to be able to get her finances such and get out of debt and then raise money so that she could give scholarships, so that she could pass the pipeline toward what people have done to her. So she received a scholarship from someone when she was an undergrad that helped her get to school, so she wanted to pass it forward. So we've honored 2 women of our scholarship recipients in honor of Shatoria's gift. So to talk about Muriel, Muriel was active in the TriMath Music Society, as well as she's a National Achievement semi-finalist. And she's also a member of the robotics team. What she doesn't know is that I do robotics, and we were at the Chesapeake robotics first competition. And we had our resume, we looked at it, and I was like, I want to see if this is real. So I actually went by your booth. And I was like, I heard you do that.
Muriel by herself. Okay. This gentleman will be heading to Virginia Tech in the fall. Engineering major. He was a senior at Woodbridge Senior High School and has done a myriad of activities ranging from National Honor Society. He was on the high school academic team at Woodbridge Senior High School, Key Club, Future Business Leaders of America. I love to see that you guys are so involved in so many activities. It's going to help you like later in life, I promise you. And then on honor roll. So let's give a round of applause for Nathaniel Gabriel.
This next fellowship is one of our Kobe Love and Kindness Foundation scholarship, and this Gabriella Karate, okay, great, thank you. Attended North Point High School and will be attending Purdue University in the fall, studying environmental and ecological engineering. She's actually going to start Purdue actually this summer in the summer bridge program to kind of help her out. We all know how important those programs are in our development. So while she was in high school, she was very active. So she was a fellow at the Institute of Growth and Development of all youth. And this was part of the Alpha sorority program. And she was a debutante for the Ivy Foundation in Northern Virginia and a member of the National Honor Society, the Skills USA, and the
Okay. This young lady attended Charles Herbert Flowers High School. Again, Renaissance woman in terms of arts. She was a member of the jazz ensemble and marching band at her school. She also does martial arts, so she has a black belt in karate. That's pretty impressive. So she'll be going to Spelman in the fall, and she'll be one of our future doctors, so exciting. But she's also awarded Outstanding Science Student of the Year. So again, you guys are just super impressive. So Kayla cannot be here, so her mother will accept on her behalf.
Our next scholar is an NSBE DC professional scholar, and once again, I apologize in advance if I say her name wrong. Anjave Hart. Anjave is going to study animal sciences at Cornell University. She attended the German Manager Academic High School. Washington, D.C. She's active in the Robotics Club, the National Club, and the National Honor Society. When we reviewed her scholarship, what stood out was that she had almost all A's, but she had a couple B's. And, I was like, that's great. And then I realized that Banneker actually has a different scale than most people. So the B's actually were mostly A's. So the way Banneker does their scale. So basically she had all A's. So we were very impressed. Layman's terms, we were all A's. Yes, we were very impressed by what she is. And actually Dara was able to present her with her scholarship award Friday.
Miss Harvey. If not, we'll just save her for certificate.
Yes.
Get it to her. Okay. Okay. This young woman is an athlete, an academic, also does a lot of service and work in the community. As we said earlier, this is so important to make an impact, because you can go to work, make money, but at the end of the day, you also want to leave a legacy behind. So she's on the Honor Council, and she was at the Honor Council of Bishop McNamara, Honor Roll Summa Cum Laude. Yes. She also was awarded as an athlete, so Ron Curry Scholar Athlete for varsity basketball, also JV basketball MVP. And then in addition to that, she does tons of service. Okay. So Essence Hanford, if you would come forward, she'll be attending Norfolk University with a major in electrical engineering in the fall. Harvey actually just, we didn't see her back down, but we had
Our next Washington DC professional scholar is Henry Cameron Bailey. So I'm just going to call him Cameron. That's actually how he was introduced to us because of the name when we first met him. He actually last year helped us out at our USA Science and Engineering Festival. So we just wanted the participants to work in the movie on this. Cameron is graduated from Damascus Catholic High School. He will be attending North Institute of Technology, and he's going to study construction management. And just yesterday, we had one of our past presidents give a TED Talk on construction management. So we kind of got the ins and outs and know that it's probably a great professional here. He is the captain of the Damascus swim team. He's also was a member of the NSBE junior chapter at Damascus. So he could not be here today, but his mother is here to accept his
was involved in the Delta Gem. We actually just did a Delta Gem Academy event with them recently, so they're familiar with the Delta Gems. She was an All-State Chorus, an NAACP Youth Member, Future Innovators of America, the President's Education Award, very honorable, and then also was in the Key Club. So Jessica, could you come forward? She'll be attending, where are you attending in the fall? Tuskegee University. 2 minutes.
Our next DC professional scholar is Joseph Berry. He graduated from Calvert High School and will be attending Coastal Carolina University in the fall studying computer science. He was the president of the CASH NSBE Junior Chapter in Calvert County. He is a Max Scholar. He won the History Fair, and he has the Unsung Bureau of Athletic Awards. So,
So good afternoon, everyone. So I just wanted to take a couple minutes. My fiance and I just wanted to say a few things about the scholarship that we're presenting today. So first, I again wanted to start out by thanking the NSBE DC leadership and also those that continue to support the chapter. The chapter obviously has a huge presence within the DC community. I've been a member for the past 5 years, and I continue to support because of the work that we do within the community and reaching out to young people such as yourselves and also young professionals. So late last year, my family suffered a huge loss, the loss of my uncle as he passed away in an accident. He had a really huge impact on our family, myself, as well as the community. He embodied what NSBE represents. So my fiance and I decided that we wanted to do something to continue his legacy of scholarship, professionalism, and mentorship for African American youth. So since NSBE upholds these principles of community service and scholarship, we decided to start an annual scholarship in his name, so the Clayton F. Young Memorial Scholarship. I also want to give Dante a chance to say a few words. Dr. Gary.
Thank you, everyone, and good afternoon. Thank you, Tracy, for the introduction and also for those opening remarks. As a higher education professional and one individual deeply invested in education and the education of our future college goers, I'm definitely appreciative of the NSBE DC Alumni Chapter for really giving us this opportunity to give back in a meaningful and in an impactful way. As I think through our journey and many of our journeys here pursuing higher education, I think through the determination and sacrifice needed to really achieve the mountaintop and achieve a degree at the higher education level, post-secondary education level. I also think through and think about the perseverance and determination needed to really get to this moment. And I definitely would like to recognize and encourage our award recipient this afternoon to continue to move forward and continue to reach for the highest ideals and the principles of not only the NSBE DC Alumni Chapter, but also to the purpose and the spirit of this particular award. Mr. Clayton F. Young represented that spirit and that determination of this particular award by not only giving back to those around him, but just sacrificing, doing a lot of things to really make sure that those around him really have the opportunity to really achieve and taste success at the highest level through mentorship as well as through education. And with that, we believe this award will do that in that regard, and I'm definitely appreciative for Tracy when she presented the idea to really take a lead in this particular award, to use my own birthday and those activities surrounding my birthday to really help raise money for this particular effort so that it'll impact not only our award recipient this year, but future award recipients in future years as well. So with that in mind, I'd like to invite the wife of Mr. Clayton F. Young, Mrs. D. Young, to come forward with some remarks and present this year's award to the award recipient. So, Mrs. Young.
Thank you so much. Thank you, NSBE. Thank you, Tracy and Jared, for allowing me to be a part of this momentous occasion. Your Uncle Clayton would be so honored by you presenting this scholarship to this young lady. He truly believed in supporting schools and children. As a board of director of a charter school in DC, he was very active in supporting that particular school and was often inside the classroom observing the students as well as behind the scenes negotiating contracts for funding for that school. He also, when he first started school, he used to often tell his children, my children, that without education, there's very limited things that you can do in life. You have to pursue your education. He would often tell them how many miles he would walk to school just to get them roused up and joking. It started out some days 3 miles. By the time he finished with my son, it was up to 6 miles. He'd have to walk, run through sleet, rain, and snow to get to school. But he was extremely, extremely dedicated to assisting all children at whatever level of education they wanted to pursue. If it were a BA degree or an AA degree or a master's degree or PhD degree, he encouraged them as much as he possibly could. My husband started from humble beginnings, and he believed that by him becoming educated, he could help others, bring one person up one at a time. And that was his motto. From where he began, if he could bring someone forward, he was willing to do whatever it took to do that. And he was committed to doing that. So I want to say to Demi Wharton for being selected for this scholarship, job well done. He would be so proud of all recipients today, but more so because of Jared and Tracy's commitment and dedication in their continued education, he would be also very proud of you too. So I want to also offer my help and assistance in the future with whatever I can do to help any other recipients going forward. And again, thank you, NSBE, for your awareness and dedication and supporting of our future engineers. I'd like to introduce Demi. Is she here today? Demi Wharton. McKinley Technical High School. She's attending Pennsylvania State University and will be majoring in biology. She was a senior class president, member of the Student Government Association, active member and soprano section leader of the Washington Youth Choir. And she also was part of the technical theater intern at the Art Theater. Congratulations.
Present DBA System Scholar Award to Alexis Coates. This was an all-star certificate in Science and Math and Technology Academy, member of the National Honor Society, varsity volleyball, softball, track, JV baseball, travel volleyball, softball captain, so all of them. Received volleyball honorable mention in the Washington Post All-Mets for 2012, 2013, and 2014. All-state teams for DC State Athletic Association in 2014. All-star in academics and in all walks of life. So George Mason University, in mechanical engineering, my major. So, thank you.
Okay, at this time we're going to have PCI awards, committee awards.
Okay, so at this time we're going to do a few minutes just to kind of thank the organization. This is NSBE DC, and the Pre-College Initiative Committee does the scholarship review every year, the Future Innovator Scholarship. And so at this time, we want to take a moment to thank our PCI members for all of the work that they've done in the community. So as Kel mentioned earlier, part of your legacy is making an impact in the community and finding where your sweet spot is in the community and where you can leverage your skills. So all of us firmly believe in that. We've done a lot of programs this year. We've done mentoring at Or Elementary. We've done mentoring with Friendship Public Charter. We firmly believe in making sure we bring up the next generation of engineers. And we've also done toy drives and numerous other activities. So at this time, we're just going to ask our PCI members to come up, and we'll take a picture and give you your certificate, and we'll do a quick PCI debate. So our first member is Andre Smith. If you come forward, Andre is our VP, but he also manages the different programs, including PCI, CI, and professional development. So if you could just, and special events for Thank you, Andre. Tracy Adams. She helped with our Tots to Teens event and always comes through when we have a variety of events. In terms of, we also do the Delta Academy together, so thank you, Tracy. Thurman Jones. He actually has his own NSBE Junior chapter, the Patriots, and does a lot of work in the community. And we want to say thank you, Thurman, for also supporting NSBE DC as well. Is Ola Coyote here? Okay, Care Ham is, whenever we have robotics events, your first robotics, he also helps out nationally at the national level with the first robotics team. Helps out with Oxon Hill and consistently just really does a lot of service in the community and is one of our robotics experts. So Care Ham, if you could come forward.
She's our representative at Ori Elementary School. Me and a couple of people will go there. It's every week and work with the students. So thank you so much.
Okay. This man is very memorable. He was our MC for today. J. Rick Hayes, if you could come forward. He always is there whenever we need him for various PCI events, even outside of PCI, you know, CI, you name it. So J. Rick is always, you know, our man. Harold Goodrich is one of our, actually is one of our founders, and he continuously gives his service. I mean, he has, you know, families and so forth, but he continuously gives back, and we really appreciate him. Her bubbly, enthusiastic attitude is always a ray of sunshine, and she's going to be our membership chair next year. Ms. Dara Bishop, you could come forward. He's done a lot of mentoring at Friendship Public Charter, and the boys there really look up to him, and so we appreciate you, Cedric. Yvette Selby, if you could come forward. Miss Selby has been a member of PCI, a leader in the chapter, and we just want to thank her for all of her service. PCI wouldn't be what it is today without this innovator and leader of PCI. Mr. Willie Hill, aka Butch. Is just awesome, and we want to thank him for his service. Again, at Friendship, the kids really, really look up to Willie, and the program wouldn't be where it is without him. And we had our event 2 weekends ago. He helped to plan, and it was just an awesome event. So, thank you. Just 3 more. Okay, Aston Ross, if you could come forward. This lady is a PhD in biomedical engineering, is a dynamo, and she always is out there to support PCI among other committees. And NSBE DC, I know all of us really appreciate her, and just want to say thank you. Okay. Dr. Barbara Nichols is our scholarships committee lead, and she does it all. So we definitely appreciate her. She was helping with the gala yesterday, and so she helps with robotics at the national level. She's also does NSBE Fire. I'm sure I'm missing something else.
I'm tired.
It's been a long weekend, so Dr. Barbara Nichols, we appreciate you. And we're passing the torch this year, and we're really excited. Monique Mirabeau will be the new PCI chair next year. She'll be leading up the scholarship along with Barbara, and y'all look out because her programming is going to be amazing, and we're super excited. So Monique Mirabeau. So thank you all. Can we do like one picture? We're gonna do one picture. We gonna do like 2 lines. Just come over this way. Yeah, you guys can come over this way. And then you can
Do you have space?
He's right here. He's just gonna be in the way. So what do you want?
There's going to be 2 wide over there.
Okay. So people want us to fill the same.
Maybe we're pulling, so y'all talk out in the back. There we go. Oh yeah, I can do it.
Great. Before I say anything, before I say anything, everybody here, please help me give it back to our PCI chair for this year, Miss Erica Motley. Year, and I tell you what, I cannot think of someone who can manage so many programs all at one time with 5 million balls moving and still getting it all done. And our chapter this year winning PCI Chapter Programming of the Year is definitely a testament to her work ethic and her ingenuity and innovation this entire year throughout the PCI program. So Erica, please stand up. Thank you so much. Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Andre Smith, and I'm the outgoing vice president for this year. I'm very excited to just have so many of our up-and-coming leaders receive awards this year. I attended Morgan State undergrad, and I know how important that financial contribution is. But don't take this event for granted. I really want every one of you guys to really contact, stay in touch, network, meet some of the professionals, meet some of the fellow recipients, and stay in touch throughout your entire college career. As Kel mentioned earlier, our keynote speaker mentioned, it's really important that you have a network to help you through this time and to help you when you're done with school, get into the world of the professional. It's really important that you understand that your network is really what's going to help you get far. So, you know, on behalf of the National Society of Black Engineers, Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Professionals Chapter, we definitely salute you guys and congratulate you on your success so far. So hopefully, you know, what we've given you today can help you in your journey. And at this time, we're going to have the opportunity to have some refreshments served in the room to the right here. To my right, your left. Okay, you guys are looking at me. Gotta get that right. So I want to take the time. We have some refreshments over there. Definitely stick around, network, and thanks everyone for coming out this evening, right? Or this afternoon, I should say. It's been a long day already, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks again, and we have some refreshments waiting for you guys off to your left. Thanks so much.